Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome to Fill Up the Hole, a game that belongs to the most delightful of micro-genres, indie games that are so focused on one and only one thing that the name of the game is just a basic instruction for what you're going to be doing the entire time you're playing. Very much like a game about digging a hole, though I guess on this occasion, yes, just that, but in reverse. The reason we're filling up the hole, by the way, is because this is a magic hole, and when you toss trash into it, it generates money. And while rather delightfully, I can just pick up the trash myself and then just play with it, and it's got like, proper physics and whatnot. Okay, that feels like it's going to be an inefficient way to move the trash into the hole in order to make the hole generate money. So how about we bring in some assistance? Here we go, a lowly peon who can help me toss stuff into the hole. So here we go, he just grabs some trash, tosses it into the hole, magnificent. The problem is, sooner or later, he's going to run out of trash, so we need to generate more trash. Plus on top of that, some point this peon will get sad, so we should build him a house so he can rest in the event he does. So there we go, there's now a house, spot on. Probably best we get more peons in play as well. They're starting to cost money, unfortunately, the fussy plebs. And there we go, the first one got tired, so he goes in the house, and that generates more trash. Though, if I want to, I can just help out and put stuff in the pit myself, which is delightful. But this is not an efficient way of, yes, either generating trash or moving it into the hole. So how about we build a factory? That's going to generate trash. So okay, just to pop that up, and also it's going to need workers. So, assign worker, beautiful. Get more people, that's as many people as we're allowed for the time being, though, yeah, if I upgrade the house, I can have more workers, so, yes, basically, what we're doing here is we're putting trash into the hole, because that generates some money, and we're using that money to generate more trash, to put more stuff in the hole, to generate more money, to make more trash, so we've got more stuff to put in the hole, to make more money to, Okay, so what we're doing here is basically cookie clicker with a couple of twists. Number one is, we get to literally watch a hole being filled in, which I find deeply delightful. That's just a way more satisfying than a number going up, but, okay, number two. If we just move the camera over here, I can't help but notice that on the far side of the hole, there's a giant thing. Not 100% sure what that is. Like, maybe a sleeping mole or something. But I feel like in general, I'm not feeling good about what's going to happen even when we fill up the hole. And also the game's implying I ought to, like, put 200 things into the hole. 200 is not going to fill up the hole! Right, the factory's also overproducing and more trash than we can move right now, so, yeah. Increase the level of the house. That means we can get more people out into the world. Okay, that's going to do much, much better. They're probably going to deal with that pile of trash pretty bloody fast now. So, luckily, we can also, one, make the trash more valuable, and with a little bit more money, okay, put more workers into the building to generate more trash even faster. But yeah, this new trash is even more valuable. Honestly, I'm just completely sold on this game, purely because, the trash is forming a beautiful organic pile, and it properly rolls and stacks and whatnot. Like, that's just bloody lovely. Still, with a good amount of money in our hand, we're coming up on the end here, and... Okay, everyone's suddenly standing around looking a bit on the confused side, because apparently, it's time for an earthquake. So that's going to empty the hole, but also... reset everything. So, right, we've partially filled the hole, but I'm assuming next time what we're going to get is... Okay, a much more aggressive target. This time, 1,200 needs to be put in the hole. Oh, better and better. Apparently, we could build a catapult for, flipping a trash into the hole, together with... Oh... Okay, hang on. We just picked up a blue shard and tossed that in the hole too. Okay, we'll get back to that in just a second. Bloody hell, this game's got a tech tree. Okay, so, as it turns out... Wait, hang on. What are we doing here? So, factories. I can increase the number of factories I can build. Or rocks that produce yellow shards when rocks are destroyed. Or alternatively, Right, so right now I can only have presumably one of each building type. But if I spend yellow shards, wherever they come from, I can unlock more buildings. And if I do that, I can spend money to actually, yes, improve my workers, so... okay, there's a bloody tech tree here. And a question as well, so... right, there's more to this game than I was expecting, got it! Also, my people have got bored, because there's no trash to put in the hole. Sorry, my mistake, took my eye off the ball a bit there. So, yes, right now we're over capacity, because the housing's gone, but people seem happy with that. So, right, get you a catapult, that's fine. Someone's allowed to work in the catapult, that's a-okay. So you're working there, and then we'll just build a factory right next to the catapult, so people can work there as well. Get that straight up to, yes, level 3, so 2 workers can be in the factory. So that should generate, hopefully, decent quality trash. The trash gets loaded into the catapult. The catapult presumably flings the trash, maybe when it gets up to, there we go, when it gets up to, like, capacity or whatever, though, okay, can't help but notice you're delivering trash to the catapult way faster than the trash is actually being tossed into the pit, so... okay, not convinced the basic catapult's really doing that much good work right there. Like, that's a bit on the slow side. We're producing... yeah, you know what? You just actually go back to, carry junk. That's fine. I'm not convinced the catapult's doing... oh. The catapult's not doing a good job, because right now, yeah, it's too nearby to the front. But if our city were to expand way back, then the amount of time someone would need to walk to get stuff to the pit would be ridiculous, so, okay. I think I see what the catapult's gonna be for in the long run. Oh, and speaking of which, our first rock just appeared. So, okay, get someone working on that. Because, hang on, this rock's got durability. So, right, you're mining that, and eventually it's going to break once you're done mining. And I'm guessing that's how we expand to the town. Okay, I think I get what's going on here, though. On top of that, yeah, you guys are, falling a bit behind. So, we do need more houses in order to hire more peons in order to move more junk into the hole, please. Lovely. Oh, and speaking of which, hang about. We've apparently got a quest we can complete here, so... okay. Make $1,000, gets me an additional $100. Lovely. So, right, the game will just tell me when a quests are completed. Also, so that's a cloud of pollution, I assume. Given I can click it to turn it into trash and... right. That rock has been mined out. Meaning I can now build something here, and there's a new rock that needs to be hacked down. And yeah, there's that yellow shard. So, okay. Destroying a rocks, that's how we get yellow shards, and that's how we get upgrades. Gotcha! The biggest problem right now, though, seems to be, yes, we can't even keep up with what we already got out of that first rock. So, continue upgrading the house, so we could just, yes, get more peons on the field. Because we desperately need to clear out the factory, so we can start, yes, dealing with the rock situation. And, never mind, it's not just rocks, which have got durability. It's also flipping buildings. They're going to break over time as well. But that's fine. Basic buildings are, you know, pretty cheap to get set up. That's fine. And by the looks of it, broken buildings can also produce yellow shards. So, right, as stuff breaks, that lets me upgrade things going forwards. And if I need lots of peons in a hurry, which is important because right now I literally can't build any buildings, because we're at the building cap for everything. But in just a second, when the yellow shards get tossed in, I do enjoy the pit, by the way. And how the actual, you know, original shards that you tossed in long ago just get buried underneath. And also the different colour of the trash, representing its different value. That's delightful as well. So, okay. What we can have now is more yellow shards when rocks are destroyed, more factories, more housing, or more catapults. And if I saved up yellow shards also, a compressor. Compressing trash into better quality stuff. That's potentially interesting. And right, obviously if I want buildings to get better, the text behind that building, that's what we need to be investing in. So, the catapult could become a cannon, and also... RP. So that research points or something. Bloody hell, there might be research in this game too. Oh, yeah, there definitely is. There's a research lab. So, right, get the housing upgrade going. And right now I can't do any more for the time being, aside from spending $150 on my peons being happier for longer. So, okay, that's... Okay, turns out the tech tree is bigger than I was expecting. So, on top of that, happy peons move... I mean, 20% faster. That's got to be good right there. Then I need more blue things if I want, yes, peons just being set to permanently happy, potentially. So, okay, there might be quite a large tech tree here. Got it. Also, guys, you are not keeping up well with the bloody rocks, actually. And yes, what we can do is build a second house, because then it'll be much, much cheaper to upgrade that. Then we could get way more peons out way more quickly. Because, yeah, upgrading a house from, like, you know, 4 to 5 is so much more expensive than 1 to 2. So, okay, now just put all of our money into additional peons. Oh, and I see one big problem here, which is the rock we're working on is currently not actually being worked on because... yes, it's overflowing with trash. So, right, I see the problem here. If too much trash backs up, then you stop mining, and as a result, we stop expanding. No, seriously, we need more people. Just more people to help with the trash cleanup. So, okay, the hole is looking pretty bloody good, all things considered, though, yes, I think we've realised we do have a bit of a problem with trash ending up in a giant pile at the rear. But we are coming up on, yeah, the end of hole 2 here, so, okay. This time, I've got a plan. Oh, and speak of the devil, right, it's resetting reality with an earthquake that would appear to, yes, generate the blue shards I need for certain key upgrades. So, you guys just, like, clear out some of this for a second. That's fine. Honestly, I'm happy to just let you do that, just so we've got a clean slate to work with. But yeah, seeing what I'm seeing now, I understand what we need to do, which is people just carrying stuff and tossing it. That works fine over here. But over here, no. The travel time is just way too big. So okay, while they're just clearing that, because yeah, the game doesn't pause while you're inside these menus, get the research lab unlocked, beautiful. And here's what we're going to do. Number 1, the factory is going to be right at the front line here. So immediately get that to, yeah, at least 2 people, which is good, though. One more upgrade increases the trash value, which is lovely. So, okay, that's not going to generate relatively valuable trash. The moment that comes out, that can be dealt with very nice and easily, because, yeah, the travel time is so short. Behind that, we could put, yes, the research lab and a basic house. What's going to be put right at the rear over here is the catapult. So that, yes, a worker who's dealing with chipping down this rock and whatnot, someone can just very easily pop the trash from the rock into the catapult here. So yeah, the travel time is going to be way less bloody significant. Factory stuff, easy to walk into hole. Rock stuff, that just gets catapulted. Yeah, the catapult could do the entire distance, lovely. And the research lab is generating, yeah, research points per worker. So if we just upgrade that, so it goes up to 2 workers, there you flipping go. And the more people working in buildings, the less people there are to just to be carrying stuff around. So that's worth keeping in mind too. The bare minimum, yeah, the pile at the rear is looking nowhere near as bad as it was previously. In which case, yeah, given the factory is looking pretty clear right now, honestly, just to keep upgrading that. More workers, more value, bigger factories. Okay, so a factory right to the front door, that's how you want to do it. That's where the money comes from. Oh, and this is interesting. 1, if I just, you know, put some yellow shards into the factory, I can have an additional factory. But 2, the blue shard could generate a bulldozer I could just summon to push all the trash. And also, the bulldozer could produce more clouds for even more trash, which I could afford because it's glowing, but okay, let's not worry about that. Instead, just send a basic bulldozer in, so... okay. That's pretty good for just clearing out, you know, the trash if it starts getting a bit too high. So that just goes into the hole and... apparently, so does the flipping bulldozer. I mean, we're trying to fill up the hole, so, you know, putting bulldozers into it, that will actually contribute a fairly large amount, all things considered. Oh, and here's interesting. I think I just got, yes, a quest upgrade that lets me see the entire upgrade tree, so... okay, seriously, that's a, It's a bigger upgrade tree than I was expecting for a game about filling up a hole, yes. And yeah, given I can now build 2 houses, because I did that upgrade, logically, yeah, what we do now is just get multiple houses, upgrade all of them pretty cheaply, and now we've got the capacity to hire way more flipping workers. Lovely. And okay, so the trash back here is still getting a bit backed up. Let's also just increase, yes, the flipping catapult a tiny amount, because that's pretty cheap, all things considered. So just put 2 people to work there, and... okay! That is looking a little bit better. Also, I appreciate it's kind of like a fireworks display. That's delightful. So, okay, yellow shards going in, a huge amounts of valuable goods going in too. And the factory at this point is getting, yeah, expensive to upgrade. So it would make more sense to potentially have a second flipping factory. Perfect timing, Research Lab. Thank you for collapsing. Oh, and this is interesting. Every single upgrade, or at least a great deal of them, is not just a one-off. It can be taken repeatedly. So I could just make my peons go 20% faster 5 times in a flipping row. Right, well that we're just going to be doing, so yeah, some money's going to come in because, I mean, faster peons. That's got to be, okay, you guys could just get a bit of a lovely shifty on here, marvellous. Though I think possibly, yes, happy peons are the ones who've only just had a break in the house. They're not, like, happy all the time, because there's definitely a bit of a speed difference between some of these guys, yes. Still, as one of the factories gets a little bit on the overloaded side, yeah, we're coming up on this pile being completed as well. So, okay, we've learnt a lot. I think I know what we need to do now. So, okay, you guys just, like, you know, clear out all the trash, etc., etc. While you're dealing with that, kind of be a tiny bit interested in the compressor. So it takes trash and turns it into larger, higher value trash. So, okay, we can take that straight away. And on top of that, I could use, yes, science points to make that better at storing stuff, or alternatively, even more value to trash made by the compressor. And once the blue thing we've just created gets delivered to the pits, okay, we could just, yeah, compress everything into extra valuable trash, though, okay, down over here, every 5 minutes, all peons are full of happiness, which would make them stupidly fast, so, okay, never mind, I'm going for that. So yeah, the compressor eats trash, and every 4 trash gets turned into 1 mega trash. So, okay. Logically, the compressor should be right next to the edge, and then the factory should be right next to the compressor. So just immediately get that up to, let's say at least flipping 3 workers, absolutely. And you should be upgraded too, because, yeah, compressing it just means more value, more people working here, etc., etc. So get you up to 3 workers as well. So, factory makes stuff, we can convert stuff into even better stuff, the better stuff gets tossed in, and that generates like $40, $50 a go or something, spot on. Oh, and speaking of which, yes, don't forget that bliss we were talking about earlier, so if we need anyone to speed up, that would work, and tell you what, I wouldn't mind more compressors, because compressors just act as a place where cheap trash can be taken, and then it becomes less trash, but with higher value. So yeah, putting a compressor deeper into the town, so the cheaper mining trash becomes good trash. Oh, that could be a good idea. Right, I'm having a second factory right away, please. At least flipping 3 workers once again. And yeah, right now we're going to struggle to keep up maybe a little bit, but if we just keep investing in, yes, the compressor here, well, actually, that's not going to make the compressor have more capacity, just a more value, but honestly, that's good too. And yeah, we're over capacity in workers right now, but that's fine. I don't think we need more just for the minute, and okay, the compressor is over capacity, because if there's ever a moment where you see green trash being put in the pit, that means trash isn't going into the compressor. Speaking of which, I'm going to try my bliss button, so if I just push this, okay, they basically all go up to mega speed for a moment. Also, I just completed a quest there, so alright, I can now focus on the building on top. What does that mean? Oh, I see. So yes, I can just, see what's going on behind the mess. And speaking of which, yes, one of my factories is immediately shut down because it's over capacity. Deploy the bulldozer to sort that out. But yes, I'm seeing how we've got a bit of a problem here. Can the bulldozer actually push, like, all of this? This feels like too much for the bulldozer to deal with. But bare minimum, this will clear the decks a bit, so that's positive. What we need is, yes, like I was just saying, the ability for my flipping compressor to store more trash. And potentially a vacuum. Can pull trash from the left or right side of the catapult, and compressor also automatically stores trash in front of the building, extra peon needed. Okay, hang on. A vacuum, you say? Here we go. Add a vacuum to the left or right side. It's a one-off cost, but then it could, like, pull in trash by itself. So, yeah, now you've got a vacuum off to the left. So, okay. That's just a sucking in trash from the factory automatically. That's pretty good. But yes, right now this society is not functioning correctly. I've got so many workers, and they're barely even keeping up with one factory and one compressor. So, okay, we need to think this through a little bit better. Now, here's interesting. The catapult, like we were just saying, can also have a vacuum. Off to the right, then we just upgrade it a little bit, put some workers in there, lovely. And now, the catapult is going to be automatically clearing that factory. Though, yeah, it's not going to be going in the compressor, for the simple reason that, yeah, it's being blasted over the compressor. But yeah, bare minimum, this is at least clearing the backlog, so that factory is actually cooking working. Speaking of which, okay, can't have another catapult. But in theory, if you were to have another vacuum, that is still absorbing some of, yeah, the mining junk. Not much, but a tiny amount. And for $1,000, we can also increase the max level of catapult. So, okay, get that done. So that is like, a cannon and also a minigun, you say. Or cannons generate clouds, which is kind of fun. Alternatively, okay, don't worry about flipping a catapult just yet. Just tiny bit more upgrading. That's fine. More people, please. Okay, there's a flipping cannon. So, right. This is now just taking that factory's stuff and just blasting it straight into the pit. So, right, that's a relatively efficient use of, yeah, only like 4 people. Because they're pretty much keeping on top of this here factory all by themselves. But in a perfect world, yeah, the compressor just needs to be made better and better and better. Also, why are people not working in the compressor? More people in the compressor so that we're compressing more things. We should not be tossing anything in the pit but solid coking gold. Oh, you see now that's working a lot better immediately. Also, everyone speed up. It's time for a moment of bliss. So, okay. That's very useful as an emergency button to just get my workers to speed up for a second. John, you've not built any houses, so your workers don't have anywhere to rest. So they're probably really upset right now because they're like all exhausted, so this might explain why this society wasn't working very well. I forgot to give my workers anywhere to rest because I was too focused on, productivity and factories and maximizing value, so. Okay, in general, I shouldn't be allowed to run society. Gotcha. Still, this society is now coming to an end as the pit keeps being filled up. But yes, I think those vacuums in particular, they're going to change how we think about, yes, a lot of stuff going forward. So, okay. Begin the earthquake. That's fine. And more blue shards are for more mega upgrades. Beautiful. You guys just, get on with clearing all the trash. But still, step 1, compressor right by the edge. Yes, that is the correct thing to do. And just basically upgrade that hugely with a left-hand vacuum. Spot on. Give it plenty of storage. That's pretty cheap, and that means, we can just put more stuff inside it, so less people have to run with less valuable trash to the end. Also, just keep stacking workers in there. Lovely. More, please. I want at least 4 workers in that. So, straight away, put all the loose trash into this McGibble. Spot on. And then 1 factory, but probably not more than 1 factory. yeah, right next to you. More than one factory, we just end up with a massive backlog. Then, we just put down some housing, so people have got somewhere to, like, I don't know, rest or whatnot. And then what we do, at the rear of town, is build compressor number 2. It comes with, yes, a left-hand vacuum, spot on, tiny bit of storage too. Why not? This doesn't need to be a huge compressor, all things considered. So you just, yes, eat the mining produce, and then that gets fed automatically into a catapult, which also sucks up, yes, the new, more valuable stuff, and sends that flying. So, okay. Now, we've got automated mining being converted into gold, which is sent directly into the pit without anyone having to ever carry it. Spot on. And just to prove this system works, just send in the bulldozer, just to clear the decks, then we can make sure that, yes, this system is working as it's supposed to. I do like the bulldozer. Just watching the bulldozer pushing all this trash around, I find that deeply delightful. Along with the fact we just toss the guy and the bulldozer into the pit when we're done. So, right. One compressor servicing one factory, which we can just keep upgrading as far as we can. So yeah, just keep doing that. Give it more storage, etc, etc. That's great. And yeah, as long as we're keeping up and no green is really going into the pit, then we can also upgrade the factory a tiny amount too. 4 workers for you as well. Spot on. Oh, and look at this. This is working. Back here, mine, 2 compressor, 2 cannons. Oh, that works beautifully. To the extent, I'm willing to start investing in, yes, the rock a bit, so we get more yellow shards from rocks. And also scaffolding, so we can have more people working on those rocks. Beautiful. So, okay, just toss down some scaffolding when we get to $1,000, which is going to take no time whatsoever. And now we can start taking down these rocks really bloody fast. And yeah, when the rock goes down and we move on to the next rock that will just pop up when the time is right, these buildings will break down eventually too, and then we can just shuffle everything along by one. Excluding the slight issue that, yes, even one fully upgraded factory is too much for the compressor to keep up with, so... Okay, just give it a bit more storage, because storage is cheap. So, that's all absolutely fine. That's really just buying time, John. You've still got a capacity problem. Oh, but then again, maybe I don't. Because maybe if I put my blue McGibble into all trash inside the compressor, just gets compressed instantly. That's every 2 minutes. That's not even that bad. So yeah, all we do is just increase the storage capacity of the compressor to maximum, which is really relatively cheap next to actually upgrading the damn thing. So hang on. Just a second. There we go. Up to maximum. The vacuum just sucks all of that in, which is very, very nice indeed. So okay, you should probably be about at capacity right now. Then we just clear the capacity using Oh, flip me, yes. Yes, 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 and look at all that money coming in. And that's now cleared the storage capacity, so the vacuum could just suck more of the green in and... Okay, now we're flipping getting somewhere. That's a good ability, given I could do it every 2 cocking minutes. Still, what I should do, though, is stop depending on peons at all for all carrying. Next time we rebuild the city, there should be a second catapult up front. Like, we should just be doing compressors feeding into catapults under all circumstances. And if we're gonna be dependent on catapults more going forward, how about we convert them into miniguns? Still, what I think we do need is more workers, because more buildings being more upgraded means less peons actually on the ground. The number of people just carrying stuff is a bit on the low side right now, so... yeah, just to put all my money into upgrading various houses till we could just get more workers on the field. Because once they're out, they get to stay out into the next universe. Also, I can't help but notice over on, the right here. There now appears to be a sort of giant peon breaking out of an egg. Or something, so... That's new! That was not here a minute ago! You see, what concerns me is, my buildings are now generating pollution, which I can click on, in order to generate more trash. But once they rise, they start floating over the pits. If I don't click on them, they eventually mosey over here. And I'm concerned that possibly, because I've been allowing pollution to get over to whatever that thing is without dealing with it, that might be causing some sort of reaction over here. Like, it's possible we're going towards some sort of message about disposability and materialism. I'm not sure, I'm just obsessed with putting stuff in the hole in order to make more money. Still, this society is coming to an end momentarily, so, okay, we've learnt a lot, but yeah, I think I know how we need to optimize the next one. And also need to stop ignoring science. I've been completely ignoring science this entire time. So, just to burn down a society. Beautiful. You guys just toss stuff into the pit, but okay. On this occasion, what we need to do is, yes, have an automated pit system right here. So, number one, catapult featuring vacuum to left right there, which is going to be, yes, pulling out of the compressor, which has also got a vacuum to the left, because that is going to be pulling out of our main factory right there. So, okay, factory could go up to at least 3 workers right away. Compressor can also have, yeah, a fair whack of storage and go up to a fair whack of people too, at least 3. That is fine. And yeah, you need workers as well. You need to be heavily upgraded because you're going to be dealing with a lot of trash actually. So yeah, that is one automated system that's just going to take care of itself right at the front door. That's going to mean a lot less of my people need to be carrying trash full stop. So straight away, yeah, we've got a huge amount of automated trash generation right at the front. Also, I need multiple people to get on with this here rock, which is almost actually done already. Yeah, that's going to go down in no time whatsoever. That was almost destroyed during the last run, actually. And with so many people freed up, yeah, that means we can have a research lab and actually properly invest into it as well. At least 3 people right there. In fact, hang on. Can we do anything to help out the research lab? Presumably we can. Oh yeah, we could drop money, making all my scientists generate even more RP per worker. So you can have a couple of rounds of that straight away. And I can even buy yellow shards. I mean, for only 6 grand, that's not bad at all. But okay, let's don't worry about that for now. Yeah, once we get flipping science coming in, we can start upgrading how good the trash coming out of the compressors is. And we can also just clear out the flipping catapult storage, doubling its value at the same time. So, okay, absolutely. So, right, that could be very useful. That's now done, so okay, hang on. This is working nicely. Over here, this situation seems to be, yes, mostly staying on top of itself. The research lab is also generating a bit of trash, but not that much, so... okay, that would suggest, possibly, the best thing we could do would be, yeah, build another catapult here, and another compressor here, while somebody gets to work on this right now. Because then, yeah, well, actually, hang on. If I build it that way round, what's going to make more trash? Is it the research lab or the mine? Honestly, the research lab appears to be generating... hang on. How much is pink worth? I'm not going to be able to detect this, but I'm going to give it a go. Just drop that. I don't know, because there's too much stuff flying into the pit. But the point is, yeah, the research lab stuff is already somewhat valuable. This is trash. So, right, we'll build a compressor 2 right here. So that is left-hand vacuum. Put a few people into that, but doesn't need that many. This can be a catapult, but the catapult needs both vacuums and also significant upgrading. So, yeah, that's just going to do its job as well. So, okay. That should keep the research lab and the new compressor nice and clear. And the compressor keeps the mine clear so it can keep expanding. So, okay, now this is gonna work. Just, yes, make sure we flush out the catapults on occasion. That can be done on a regular basis. Oh, that's actually quite pretty. You know what? That's just a fireworks display. I appreciate that. And yeah, compressor bursts can just do the same. Spot on. And everyone gets happy. So you're doing your jobs, though. we are seriously low on people who are just doing their jobs, aren't we? Yes, we've got too many people in factories, not enough people just on the ground. But on the other hand, we don't really need people to be on the ground so much, because all the buildings are, for the most part, running themselves. Like, PMs on the ground, they're just filling in odd gaps and whatnot. And yeah, based on the catapult flush behaviour, this catapult at the back has got a fair whack of stuff in storage. This one's got, like, 0 in storage. So, as a result of that, yes, arguably, we don't need quite this many catapults just yet. Or rather, these buildings could be upgraded. These catapults are ready to take the extra. Also, I do enjoy how, yes, now we're entirely a catapult-based society. We are just straight up blasting all of the junk over to the right of the pit, not the left anymore, because basically nothing's being tossed in by people, which I find delightful. Oh, and suddenly we're swimming in research points, because I forgot to spend them, so, okay. Factories could generate more flipping trash, but no. Let's actually get more value coming out of every single compressor. What's also interesting, though, is the possibility of, yes, a compressor compressing garbage that's already been compressed. Combine that with a compressor being able to, okay, buildings are collapsing, don't worry about it. Combine that with an ability to capture flying trash, and the compressor at the front could capture the already compressed stuff at the rear as it flies by, meaning they could compress it again to make it even better. Speaking of which, yep, let's just make that trash even more flipping valuable. Lovely. Oh, while I was discussing that, by the way, okay, possibly I may have overestimated how well the rear catapults were doing, because all of a sudden, right, there's a bit of a pile-up going on at the rear here. So, okay, that's fine. We can clear that by just simultaneously activating everything, like, you know, sending a... Oh, I love the catapult burst. That's delightful. And we are making good progress on filling the pit, by the way. So yes, if we take the upgrade, allowing compressors to capture flying trash, that might mean a single compressor at the front of society can deal with literally all of its trash. Like, we don't need 2 compressors anymore. And that also lets me take, a special upgrade, so I can compress 8 trash instead of 4 into 2 large trash. That strikes me as a good idea. If I just save up a bit, I might be able to get, flipping double the rate of compression. So, then we could definitely make do with a single compressor. Especially if, hang on. Gosh darn it, I thought there was an ability to convert yellow shards into blue. But no, it's the other way round. So, right, that doesn't help me. Oh, never mind, there is a conversion for yellow into blue. It's just over here. So, right, 5 yellow shards. I get a second blue shard. Then I can take this. So, we're gonna be golden at that point. I know what my next society looks like. In fact, you know what? For only, 6 grand, buy a yellow shard, convert those yellow shards into a blue shard, use blue shards to double the output of compression. Spot on. So okay, we can now build a mega compressor that can, absorb from above and also below. And also, I'm pretty sure, when it drops some medium trash, the medium trash is being absorbed and turned into large trash. So, this one compressor is doing basically everything, as it turns out. So, okay. This is all we need. Just one mega compressor could take care of literally cocking everything. In fact, with this thing now at level 10, and just mass producing large golden pieces, the amount of money we're generating is slightly ludicrous. It's going up at a silly rate. And finally, the cocky catapults can't keep up. So, right, guys, just more in terms of, storage capacity, everything. Clear the decks with a big old catapult flush, if you'd be so kind. Lovely. Oh, that'll do. That'll flip it do. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, on this occasion, I was just so into optimizing my society, I completely didn't notice the incoming earthquake. So, right. Society gets destroyed. Lovely. But this time, okay. This time, I know precisely how we're gonna make all of this work. So, the front door, that was fine. One catapult with, yes, a left vacuum and a few upgrades right here. That's A-OK. And obviously, we've got a compressor, and the compressor has got to have a left vacuum and can also capture trash being flung from the left. That's important as well. That needs to be as upgraded as it can be for the most part. That's A-OK. Make sure that's got a whole bunch of workers too. And a giant pile of storage. We'll upgrade that more as we go. And a factory goes right next to that. Like the front door, that was A-OK. The trick being this time, we don't need a compressor at the rear. All we need is, yes, another catapult. So that goes right here. It needs vacuums on both sides. For one, the mining site, which someone needs to be working on. And two, the research lab, which also generates a few bits and pieces. So that needs 3 workers as well. You're going to be needing, yes, several workers, a little bit of upgrading. We'll see how much upgrading, because, yeah, you're not going to be that high capacity. That's fine. So, okay. Just keep an eye on, yeah, what needs upgrades first, though. John, and money is coming in so fast, it's fine. Just upgrade everything straight to level 10. That's A-OK. Oh, and for the first time, we've got the minigun constructed right at the front gate. So, okay, we just need to feed more and more stuff into that. I want to see that minigun afire, please. Like, come on, we didn't just build this for show. John, it needs a work up before it can fire. Now the minigun can fire. Lovely. Let's just shove some stuff into that and... okay, now we're getting somewhere. And over on the left, yeah, we are keeping up with that very easily. So just keep promoting, yeah, the research lab. That's up to 4, though running dangerously low on people. Question being, do we even really need people on the ground anymore? Like, the vacuum system should be taking care of everything by itself. And, guys, why are you not absorbing all of the trash? Like, absorb all the trash, please. And now, just looking into the pit, yeah, most of what we're tossing in is flipping yellow. So, like, a gold trash that's higher value. The research points we're getting in, those should be invested into making that trash even more valuable. And in the event that, yeah, it looks like the compressor can't keep up, we can use the compressor burst to just convert everything into, there we go, ridiculously good stuff that gets shoved straight into the catapult McGibbles. And if need be, we then use a catapult flush to just clear out that backlog. And okay, there we go. Now we're keeping up, though, yeah, a tier 7 factory is making slightly too much stuff, really. Or at least it's piling up on the left, so... I mean, we could, in theory, build just another catapult, purely for the sake of getting stuff into the compressor. I mean, that seems a little bit inefficient, but it might work, you know. Because the only other thing we could build would be, yeah, some more housing. But even if I get a house up to level 10, I'd need a second one to buy more people. Unless, of course, we... oh... right, houses produce waste just in general, and more importantly, +1 max peon per house floor, just to keep investing in that, together with... okay, initial max peon goes up by 1 as well. We could do that a few times for money, and reduce the cost of people by 50% too, which I can easily afford, because if I just buy some yellow shards, which are pretty cheap, there we go, that goes in there, and also clone my peons for 30 seconds, absolutely, and yes, as more flipping science comes in, okay, now we're flipping getting somewhere. Okay, with that done, I think we could definitely afford to get houses in place. So just start upgrading them a little bit, because houses are pretty cheap to upgrade, all things considered. So right, now I've got a level 10 house. And so much capacity. Right, more workers, more peons, more everything. Also, begin cloning workers, and also give them all the drugs to make them happy. And then just start, oh yes. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Now my brain's releasing the happy chemicals. Okay, so everything's going great up front. Slight issues at the back, though, which is... yes, now one rock's been destroyed. The next one's being worked on. we're no longer really set up right in terms of moving that trash where it needs to go. So okay, what we're gonna do is, one, destroy this McGibble in order to move it to here. Basically, same thing, just a bit closer to the current mine. And then that gives me space for a new building, a training center, in order to make my peons better at their jobs. And that opens up a whole new tray. So for example, running to make my peons much flipping faster. And then ultimately, content peons are running as fast as happy peons. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Just set up that new training facility. Lovely. So, okay. What precisely does this thing do? Do peons, like, you know, go here and then when they leave, they're better or something? You know what? Screw it. Turn everything on, please. Oh, okay, hang on. I can only have one thing on. So speed, or alternatively, carrying. Okay, carrying more stuff in a single trip. Honestly, speed strikes me as a better idea. Just get you up to maximum. So, okay. You guys are also generating weird purple blobs. Don't know what weird purple blobs do. We got weird purple blobs. Also, I think my factory fell over. And yes, well, we've got a bit of a mess right now. If I just use my ability to clone my peons, that helps out a lot too. As just hiring more peons. We could just hire more peons before we start the cloning program. That would be good as well. And with $100,000 achieved... Okay, apparently it's time for the end of society. So, right. That also tells me... Okay. Earthquake 7. Looks to me like we might be, yes, starting to come up on the end here. So okay, we were close to an optimal society last time. So the basic starting layout of factory into compressor into, yes, the cannons, that I believe in. That I think is optimal for what's going on right at the front. The trick is, what do we do with all these build slots behind? Because housing and research labs and everything, they still generate trash. Also, I appear to now have books. Because yes, I think these come out of level 10 buildings where they're destroyed. So, right, there's even more upgrades than I was expecting. Including... Okay, massively reducing the cost of upgrading various buildings. Gotcha. Well, we're definitely going to be building compressors, so yeah, spend some books on that. Lovely. And housing as well, because we're going to be wanting to build some of that so we can get more people out. Though, speaking of which, okay, blimey. You guys are... Oh dear. You're already at 10, but because I've been upgrading the factory, as a result, you're already struggling to, keep up with that a bit, so... Okay, maybe one compressor was, like, being a bit on the optimistic side, so... I was about to say a second compressor, but then we'd need, yeah, a second catapult here, but that could go next to the research lab, so... Okay, that would be fine, I think. Then we just toss up housing, which does generate trash too, so that just goes straight into, yes, the catapult, that's fine. Then we just need more people. Just buy a whole bunch of people, and then make them happy, and then clone them, and that should, yes, help us catch up with the slight backlog we've got right now, together with making everything just suddenly burst into productivity. Spot on! If, however, we were to allow a compressor to process garbage that's already been processed, then... Okay, I'm not 100% sure what that's gonna do, but it sounds exciting. But at this point, yes, I'm just upgrading this factory as far as I can in terms of tech, and then desperately trying to keep it running by using 2 compressors surrounded by multiple cannons, and... I mean, it's just about holding together, I think, and you're not even level 10, are you? Okay, we need to get you upgraded, as it turns out, because you're not quite optimal yet. Okay, I will admit, at this point my society is mainly just constructed out of cannons. And I'm okay with that, because it means every day is a non-stop fireworks display, and on top of that... Okay, I think we are almost done with this version of the universe, but I'm pretty happy with what we've seen during this universe, okay? This has been good. And okay, I think right. Now it's time for the real event. We appear to have built a statue. Now we need to go and visit it. Presumably by filling the hole. Well, the basic front line we had before, that was working just fine. So, absolutely, one mega factory, straight up to level 10. Shove everybody into that, and that needs to be surrounded by compressors in order to keep up. Now, what we've also got is, yes, out of the tech tree, the ability to make my miners toss trash further and further away. So right now they're tossing it to, yes, the flipping cannons. What if you, like, tossed it even further? Like, say, over to, there we go, over to the flipping compressor. That's what we need you to do, so, okay. So now the miners are delivering the stuff straight into compressing range. That is marvelously good news. And you guys are just getting better and better at carrying, because yes, the training building has been letting us do that, so we're actually keeping up, like, really nicely here. So, big old compressor boost if you wouldn't mind. Lovely. Then just a catapult flush, and oh yeah. Oh, flippin' yeah, that'll flippin' do. Then, we just clone everybody, and then we just insert drugs into them to make them more productive. That just clears the deck beautifully. So, okay, I feel like we've now got capacity for even more compressors and even more factories. So yeah, just put another compressor right here on the far side of this one with a left-facing vacuum. And a factory right here. This factory, maybe we don't want to, like, you know, make it too aggressive just yet. This might be, yes, a little bit, optimistic, potentially. Normally, it takes 2 compressors for a single factory. Right now, we've only got 1 over here. That might be a problem. Still, we can just fully upgrade this thing and just not put the maximum number of workers in it until we're pretty sure that, yeah, it's all working as it should be. And you just deliver your new stuff down to this facility, which is already at max. So, yeah, maybe I should be more worried about these cannons, because they've now got to deal with 2 compressors feeding into them. This factory is, oh dear. Why did this suddenly go wrong? You know what? Compressor burst, then catapult flush in order to clear the decks, and then it's all going to be fine, probably. Okay, we can use science to make my catapults better, but only a tiny amount, to be honest. I mean, that. Or we start investing in power plants to make nearby buildings better, and then if we just invest down the line a bit, we can make power plants have a greater range. Right, in which case, don't worry about, yes, a secondary factory, secondary compressor. That clearly wasn't working. Right, destroy those, etc., etc. What we want here instead is a power plant. So, okay, just build that, and then just increase the range. Excellent. Bring that thing up to level 10, because why not? What precisely does this thing do? Okay, it can make nearby buildings good in all sorts of ways. Like, for example, gaining more science, or alternatively generating more trash, making the trash more valuable, etc., etc. I'm gonna say, make it quite a bit more valuable, but also generate a fair bit more of it. So, okay, you're now just doing that. Don't know precisely how far you reach or anything, though, okay, we've just finished mining this McJibble. I mean, logically, at least 2 levels, which would be good. So, okay. Bare minimum, what you definitely can do is reach this slot right here. So this would be an excellent slot to have, hang on, just to really start tossing, yes, that's a lot further. I need you to be tossing that very, very far, actually. All the way to the compressor over there, spot on. Yeah, this would be an excellent spot to have more compressors and a small factory, issue being a bloody hell. We'd be relying on people to do the carrying, so oh, that's not gonna be a good idea. Okay, for now, just get a training building out, because, yeah, if you guys can carry way more, that's gonna make every single person on the ground way more effective. And then just max out a house at the rear, so we can get more people down on the ground. Just, there we go, up to 65. Catapults also collapsing, that's fine. We could just build those straight back up again. And then we just blend that with cloning, drugs, then activating literally everything and tossing. We don't even need a bulldozer anymore. Alright, screw factories, screw cannons. My clone armies can deal with everything all by themselves. Now all of a sudden, every day is just a beautiful fireworks display and I love it. Especially now everyone's carrying 4 things a go. That is delightful. So yeah, at that point we're much less dependent on cannons and whatnot. And if that's true, we could get rid of cannon number 2 here, and get rid of this power plant, and move the power plant much closer to the main compressor and factory. In which case, guys, just put everything, once we've put workers in you, into flipping a value. 250% value increase right there. I love it. Though actually thinking about it, John, you've got more money than you know what to do with. Screw that noise, put it all into a mount. And then just toss down additional compressors at the rear, because at this point there's no reason not to, and... oh yeah. Oh flippin' yeah. This is absolutely fine. Like, okay, it's a tiny bit crowded at the moment. We'll send in a bulldozer, just to, like, you know, help clear things out a bit, but I think we're a-okay. Society is functioning, the bulldozer is doing its job, my brain is releasing the happy chemicals, these people are very good at carrying, everything as it turns out is a-okay. And I think we're almost flipping done as well. And there we go. The hole has apparently been officially filled. Many question marks. We cross the hole that has been filled and... I mean, I was concerned there might be a monster. That's true. So, I filled the hole, reached the statue, then I was eaten by a monster. But there must be a way to stop the monster, so... okay, as it turns out, I just got the bad ending. This is a game with multiple cocky endings. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a Fill Up the Hole. Or to be precise, yes, the bad ending of Fill Up the Hole. Apparently, there's a way to play it better so that a monster doesn't eat you when you go over to the statue and whatnot. So, okay, I will admit, there is a lot more here than I was expecting. Especially given this game costs like £2. This is one of those, you know, incredibly cheap little games. So, you know what? For the right person, in the right mood, this could be just the flipping thing. Have I got £2 worth of enjoyment out of it? 100%. And maybe you'll find the same if you want to figure out how to get the good ending in this game, which is in fact, as the name would imply, about filling up a hole. So, oh yeah, I've had a nice time with this. I'll be keeping an eye on what this team does next, because, as I say, this has been a lovely little time waster, and I would be delighted to check out whatever these guys do next. So, hopefully, you're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerds, and this has been the delightful Fill Up the Hole. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Were we doing virtual reality, or was that just like a metaphor for lesbian sex? And then he smacked me lightly across the face with the money! What? This is... where is this going? What's happening? We're gonna buy a whole new bin, and we're gonna write Brendan on it, and we're gonna put him in it and toss it off the pier.